Avoiding plagiarism with paraphrasing. In this workshop, I'll explain paraphrasing and provide suggestions on how to do it. This is part of a series on avoiding plagiarism. In a previous workshop, I defined plagiarism as presenting someone else's words or ideas as your own. I mentioned that you need to cite the work of others in your own work to avoid plagiarism, and that citing consists of an in-text citation and a bibliographic reference. Different citation styles provide instructions on how to do this. When you're working on an assignment, you may need to present information or ideas from others. If it's important to use the original words, you would use a direct quote. If it's not necessary to use the original words, you would paraphrase, which is using your own words to present the information or ideas of others. When you paraphrase, you still need to cite by including an in-text citation and a bibliographic reference. Now, paraphrasing can be difficult because you need both a good understanding of the original information and strong enough language skills to explain it accurately in your own words. This takes practice, and to truly avoid plagiarism, your paraphrase must be very different from the original wording, not just a little bit different. I'll give you an example with my assignment on the connection between happiness and social action, in which I'm using an article called "Do Happy People Care About Society's Problems?" from the Journal of Positive Psychology. There are 2 sentences on page 474 that summarize the results of the article. Are happy people less likely to be involved in social, political, and environmental action? Contrary to this Pollyanna hypothesis, we found evidence across 3 studies and various social issues that happiness predicts more, not less, social action. Originally, I planned to present these 2 sentences as a direct quote, but on second thought I've decided to paraphrase instead. I would start by reviewing the section I'd like to paraphrase to make sure I've understood it. Then I'd set the original work aside before trying to put it in my own words. The reason I put the original aside is to avoid relying on the original wording. Language is very creative, and there are so many ways to say the same thing, but it's hard to remember that when you have the information you need already in someone else's words right in front of you. After a few tries, here's my paraphrase. In 3 separate studies, the authors found evidence suggesting that happy people were more likely than unhappy people to take action on social issues. This keeps the necessary information of the original, but the wording is my own. When paraphrasing, I don't recommend copying and pasting the original words and then changing words or word order until you think it's different enough. This relies too much on the original. It's possible that your version won't be different enough and may still be considered plagiarism. Either keep the original words exactly with a direct quote, or present your own clearly different version with a paraphrase. What can be difficult is that there isn't an easy answer to the question, how different is different enough? To continue with my example, after I've created my paraphrase, I go back to the original work to compare. If there are still strong similarities in sentence structure or phrases or uncommon words between the original and your paraphrase, you should change your paraphrase. In my example, there are some word pairs in my paraphrase that are the same in the original, 3 studies, happy people, and social issues. But these are common enough terms, not too unique to the original. I've managed to reduce a 2-sentence question and answer to a single sentence. I've removed the mention of Pollyanna, which is unique to the original. I've used my own sentence structure because I set aside the original rather than copy, paste, and rearrange. I feel that my paraphrase is different enough from the original wording while keeping the original meaning. I make sure that I include an in-text citation with my paraphrase and a matching bibliographic reference in the appropriate place. Translating is a form of paraphrasing, as you're putting something in your own words, just in a different language. However, different citation styles have different requirements for presenting your own translations in your work, so if you work with information in different languages in your assignments, find the style guide for your citation style to learn how to correctly present your translations. When reviewing your work, a question you can ask yourself is my paraphrase too similar to the original? If there are multiple similarities between your paraphrase and the original wording, you might consider changing the structure or wording of your paraphrase to distinguish it as your own writing. In another workshop on plagiarism, I mentioned that citing and avoiding plagiarism can be confusing, that you improve with practice, and that others may be available to help you. If you need more help, contact your institution's writing center, tutoring service, or library.